Hey guys, this is Steve Baker, the Pragmatic Constitutionalist. If I struggle with my voice this morning, it's because I haven't slept yet. Well, I slept a little bit. I got a couple hours sleep. What about you, Scott?
I probably got better sleep than you did in my new
Did you?
house. Yeah, I'm probably a little more alert than you are.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
I'm Scott Lobb, the lesser part of this dynamic duo.
Not lesser. He's the one that knows exactly how everything works. As just he proved himself worthy once again, trying to get us our audio up, which was not working a few minutes ago. And I'm not sure what he did because it was kind of magic that it came back on, because I don't think either one of us hit a button of any kind. But yeah, so I'm a little bit punchy this morning because I was up writing in the middle of the night, and that's what happens when I make the mistake of waking up at 3 o'clock and rolling over and checking my phone. Because when I check my phone, I just like to see if got a message or somebody called or whatever, and then I do the absolute worst thing I could ever do is then click on my messages, and it's over at that point. As soon as
just when you thought you were out, they sucked you back in, right?
I'm back in. Yeah. So I stopped writing and reading about 6:30 and tried to go back to sleep, and it wasn't happening. So here I am.
I'm sorry. I woke up at 4:50 and did the same thing, and then somehow about 6 o'clock, I didn't go back to sleep. So
damn you.
Well, hey, we'll stop talking about sleeping patterns. Let's talk about get to the business at hand. How is our social media situation? I wanted you to speak on that.
Oh man,
right now.
I literally spent half of yesterday in a cyber war. No, it was a cyber war with no, it was a cyber war with Facebook AI bots. Even when I had two things going. I mean, I had an email exchange going with one set of support people, and his name is Rauf. That's his bot name, RAUF, and he had been turned over to me from somebody else, a previous bot by the name of AIN. I don't know. So AIN turned me over to RAUF. Total bots. I mean, these do not answer with anything but forms that I have seen for years. They modify the forms as they go, but they're it's amazing. They provide links for you to mitigate whatever your problem is, or to challenge restrictions, or to appeal rejections, or all these. And the links that they send you don't even work. They don't even take you where they claim that they're taking you.
And you were reaching out to Facebook because erroneously, about 10 days ago, we had our ad account shut down. A few days, 2-3 days after the election, we just got an email that said, hey, the ad account shut down. We hadn't advertised, really. Don't know why this happened. And so for the past 9-10 days, you've been this ongoing daily interaction with Facebook trying to get it remedied.
Right. Every single day. So finally, I'm just digging deep. While I had this email exchange going with a couple of different of their bots, then I got into an actual live chat. Now, ostensibly it's a live chat, and it was so good that I actually started thinking that it was human. So I started asking it if it was human, and it would not. I mean, it answered everything else that I asked it, but every time I asked it if it was human or not, it would not even respond to me.
Get out and respond.
Yeah. So the program obviously doesn't even allow that question to be responded to. But I will tell you, it was good. Nothing worked. They completely told me and denied my my appeal. The only thing that they did was sent me more. They actually emailed me more links for an additional appeal process. And when you go to those links, it just takes me right back into the feedback loop that I began, and it doesn't accomplish anything.
But they say you're cleared. They say that it's been resolved.
I've sent them the screenshot.
Yeah,
I've sent them the screenshot of them actually saying to me that no, we were not in the after review. I'm assuming a human review. I don't know. After review, they had determined that we were not in violation of their their policies and that my ad account had been restored. But right at the top of the page, when you go in as an admin, it says this page cannot advertise. It's in big, big bold red, block at the top of the page when you go in on the admin side. And so, and sure enough, you can't. I mean, they've taken away all my buttons to boost a post and that sort of thing, which is really, not coming at a great time. Just to be honest,
it's coming at the worst time, and the road trip's coming up, and part of the other reason for reaching out is because obviously we've been throttled. We've had a whole series of throttlings over the past, up until today, really today, maybe yesterday, the previous 8-9 days, we were throttled to a mere fraction of what we had been 6-12 months ago and before. And so very frustrating. The numbers today and yesterday look better. When
I woke up, when I woke up this morning at 3 and made the mistake of, checking the post that I had made last night or yesterday about the, what was that? The press conference, the Giuliani
press conference. Yeah.
Conference. When I checked the analytics on that, the numbers were back up again. And, my first thought was, okay, well, everybody's still engaged and maybe they just all came running back to see what I had to say about that press conference. But they were back in big numbers. And then when I got really snarky at 3-4 o'clock this morning and fired off a post about the Danish mask study, then sure enough, the numbers are back up again. Now, I don't know if that's a product of me having cyber warfare, with AI bots yesterday, and they kind of showed me some computer program gave me a little bit of mercy and lifted one of our double secret throttling that we've been under for the last few weeks. But anyway, the numbers did pop back up just overnight.
No, that's good. Well, let's jump into the road trip. This crazy zany idea that you came up with not long ago when we were bantering about it, and you let it out of the cage and made the announcement, and people seem to be really pretty pumped about it, especially after you changed the map and started including.
Right. No, it blew me away. Well, I mean, let's just go back for a second and talk about how badly that we've been throttled. It is a fraction. We're talking about a microscopic fraction of our followers even know about this road trip right now. They don't even know about it because they haven't seen it, because Facebook won't let them see it. So unless they've already joined us over on MeWe or Parler or heard us talking about it here or a podcast or on YouTube, they don't even know it's happening. And despite that fractional exposure of my intentions to get out on the road and go see everybody, at least in a couple of different regions of the country next month, the response has been crazy, man. And in particular cities, it's been overwhelming. How many people, I never knew we had this many people in Ohio that, gave a rat's ass about what I have to say. I mean, it's amazing, and that's for me, Ohio was always drive-through country. Anyway, we called it when I was touring with bands, we always called it the planet Ohio when we got there. No disrespect to you Ohioans, but
no. But I think
there.
Yeah, I think it's been exciting, really. The overwhelming response to see from everywhere. Hey, if you're driving through, I'll take you out to dinner, or have a cigar, or have a drink. Some people offering up their personal space. Some people saying, "Hey, there's a great venue that we could go to." It's been overwhelming, and I know they spent the better part of the last day and a half trying to collate and put a spreadsheet together, right? Of this master trip.
It's taken me over 12 hours worth of work right now to get all of this collated. That's just 12 hours of plucking out the details, getting people to send us their email address and and then hosts that are, people that are wanting to host a meeting. And then there's those that maybe they can't host one in their home, or or they don't own a venue or a restaurant that are wanting to sponsor it in some way, and are going to go out there and find us, a venue. So they're taking on the project of doing that, which is, kind of a daunting task right now in the middle of, global pandemic, when governors,
especially if governors are asking you to wear a mask in your own dang house. Telling you that, the coronavirus really comes out at 10 p.m. That's 9:59, you're safe. 10:01, you're screwed.
It's like a ghost, because between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. it's at its most deadly, and its most lethal form is in the middle of the night. So it's a ghostly disease.
It is. So when is the trip going to take off? When are you pushing off to start this road trip?
I'm going to leave Raleigh on the day after Thanksgiving, so a week from today. Yeah, a week from today, I'm going to hit the road. Now, I'm not anticipating having our first meeting until 3 or 4 days after that. I'm actually heading down to Tampa to visit my daughter, and then going from there, we'll be in that area, in the Central Florida area. I anticipate at least a couple of meetups while we're down there. Great. And we've got some people that are really excited about putting that together, and I'm about to cut them loose on that idea. There's even a Libertarian Party chapter down in one of the counties right there next to the Tampa Bay area that is considering having me come and speak at their meeting. And that's popped up several places around the country, and which is kind of surprising, considering that, after we changed the name from the Pragmatic Libertarian to the Pragmatic Constitutionalist, I became persona non grata in some of those LP circles.
Sure, but your message still resonates, though. It does, and message of liberty still resonates, even though you may not identify with a given party per se.
Yeah, no, the message hasn't changed one iota. I mean, if anything, this last few months have strengthened my
resolve,
libertarian resolve in terms of issuing and getting rid of government. I would even venture to say that it's brought out a lot of my inner anarchist in the process.
It's a little fine line there, huh?
Yeah.
Anarchism and libertarianism. Yeah, I understand. So probably early December 1, December 2 is about the time you're going to start engaging with TPC followers in Florida. And then from there, you're going to make your way up and go across the Panhandle. And
you're going to hit the Panhandle, Pensacola, Mobile area. There is a significant bunch of people from Northwest Louisiana all the way into Dallas and Fort Worth, and even in between another LP meeting right smack dab in the middle of the road between our highway. What is that? Interstate 20 between Shreveport and Dallas that is wanting to meet. Another LP chapter there, and then up to Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and then there's another batch of people just kind of popped out of nowhere in Kansas City. So they're wanting to take me out for barbecue, and I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it. Beer, bourbon, and barbecue in Kansas City sounds like a dream trip to me. And then the next stop probably will be Minneapolis and the the border area there with Wisconsin.
Okay.
And so and a lot of these are I mean, when I say a lot, none of them are actually hard on the calendar yet, but we've got sponsors, hosts, or people that are looking for places in almost every city now that we've got on.
Excellent. Excellent. The most recent map came out yesterday. I think, was it yesterday or the day before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just, you guys can check that out and see where things are. And, are we going to post meetup times, or are you just going to do that directly with people that engage you? How are we going to do that?
we're gonna post them. We're going to announce them on all the social media platforms, and I'm probably going to build an event page for each one. So each one we get solidified in every town. The only reason that we would bypass the public social media announcement process is if we're meeting in a city or a state that's under severe lockdown and we're doing it, secretly, like you and I used to do back in our younger days.
Yeah.
Actually, you're leaving in a few days yourself. You're going to Kurdistan?
Yeah, I'm going to Iraq. Yes. And so the beginning of this trip is going to be a little hairy for you for your road trip because I'm not going to be your full-on technical support. So we've got to work out some things on the front end. Yeah, but I'll leave the 29th and I come back the 6th of December. Quick trip. Yep. Going to do some humanitarian aid and going to meet with some government officials up in the north of Iraq. And so appreciate your prayers.
Yeah, man. Well, we've obviously referenced your father quite a bit in the last couple of months, but correct me if I'm wrong, but your dad was very, very close friends with the president of the Kurdish.
Kurdish prime minister and president, and some of their cabinet members. Yeah, he had struck up a really close relationship, and they had sent personal condolences through the State Department after my father passed, and so we wanted to just extend a warm greeting and thanks for their well wishes, and then for us to kind of establish our own relationship with them. And it helps that I'm the eldest son in the Middle East. That's a big deal. And I bear his last name. That's a big deal. So, yeah, going to go and just have a good time and talk about my dad.
You intend on keeping some of your dad's work going, particularly.
Yeah, we're going to keep work going in Kurdistan. Yeah, specifically, he really sensed that was a huge linchpin in the Middle East. And so he wanted that we were actively engaged in that. And then he passed. So we're going to be doing water filtration projects in villages that have really poor water, lack of clean available water. So we're going to be taking some mobile water filtration units, and we'll keep doing that as we're able. So anyway, that's where I'll be back on the 6th. The morning of the 7th, I'll be jet lagged, which is a Monday.
Right.
But I'll be probably back on.
Yeah, but your message box from me will be full. Scott, help! Where are you?
It's true.
So
it's true.
Are you able to get a text in Kurdistan?
Of course, I'll send you the bill, or no, I'll just bill all of our TPC followers.
There we go. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I can text. I can take. Actually, I have T-Mobile, and I can actually get calls in pretty much any country, and it's pretty reasonable. So,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
road trip. So we'll be communicating as all of that is solidified, right? In the areas that are meeting safe, and then secretly over Facebook Messenger on those areas that aren't so safe.
Exactly.
And, right. So just be aware, look out for that, guys, and be aware that is coming in the next week and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to extend this road trip out. I don't even foresee me being back before Christmas. I think I have a couple of friendly locales that I may choose between.
You might linger a little bit.
Christmas, yeah, while I'm on the road, and then right after the first of the year, I'm going to regroup, and then because we're getting a lot of requests for particularly up in the Northeast. So I don't know if that's your landscaper or my landscaper, but I hear lawn equipment outside. It's coming through my ears anyway.
It's the neighbors across the street.
It's your neighbors. Okay.
Yeah. We can buy all the nice equipment that we can get, but we don't have a fully padded, soundproofed room. Sorry, guys.
So we have, as I said, I'll need to regroup for a little bit, and then we're going to head up to the Northeast part of the country, getting a lot of requests all the way from Maine, New Hampshire, DC, Baltimore, but a lot of requests in Pennsylvania, so New York, Upper New York, and so definitely intend on going that way shortly after the first of the year. And then if these two trips go well and we're getting the response that it looks like we're going to get, then there's just absolutely no reason for us not to turn our focus on the west part of the country, west part of the country, and hit it. You know me, I like the road. Let's
Oh, I
do it.
know. Windshield therapy, man.
Yeah, windshield therapy and living out of a suitcase. It's my favorite way to live. Always has been.
I love it, actually. I love it. It's not for everyone. Well, all right. So that's the road trip summed up. That's the latest, greatest, and we'll be keeping in touch with you guys and letting you know as the details get firmed up. But let's start talking about a post that you did yesterday on Giuliani press conference that came out about the election. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about
that. Sidney Powell had promised that she was going to unleash the Kraken, and I saw the tips of a couple of tentacles yesterday, probably in the press conference. I did in fact watch every minute of it. It was roughly 90 minutes, and I do wish that every American would take 90 minutes of their Netflix binging time and switch over to something that might inform them. And Scott, we deal with this all the time on social media. First of all, I'm very engaged, as you know that. I do my best until it just gets out of hand and the numbers get too high. I read everybody's posts. I read everybody's comments. Yes. I will engage with people that disagree with me. But the one thing that makes me, gets my dander up are people that go into full on assault against a post or a comment or something, and they didn't read it, and that they didn't watch the video. Right. There were just dozens of very, very highly critical comments against that press conference. And just by virtue of what they said in their comments, they didn't watch a minute of it. They couldn't have. Because there was a lot of content. Yeah, there was a lot of content, a lot of material. There was a tremendous amount of data covered, and they can't present the evidence in that press conference in the manner in which they intend on presenting in court, and they're still accumulating all of the affidavits. They're still accumulating the testimonies. They're still putting together the witnesses that are going to be willing to testify. I mean, look, even Trump's legal team has been under assault because these people are being threatened with the cancel culture. Their careers being canceled. They're being ostracized from their own law firms, and as they say, you'll never work in this town again. They're going up against that, and so they've had a very, very difficult time keeping the legal team together. But as you saw, I mean, Mrs. Powell, she's bulldog, and I say that with all due respect.
All due respect, yes.
I don't want to be on the other end of an argument with her in any way, shape, or form. She's believable. She's credible. She's got the track record, and she's got the unassailable integrity in her background. And she. Look, if you watch that press conference, she believes what she's saying. This is, she's not making this up as she goes along. She genuinely believes what she's saying. And what she's saying is some pretty big things.
Yeah, I want to read a quote that you had, that you posted.
All right.
Said, I actually edited out some of my intended comments, but when Powell called this our generation's 1775 moment, my arm hairs stood on end. If they have this evidence, she's exactly right. If they have it and they lose, it truly is 1775 and all that comes with that.
Yeah. If they present this evidence and the 72 million people that we know voted for Trump, and then the other 6 to 10 million whose votes were canceled, that they're claiming additionally voted for Trump, and that software glitches somehow changed those votes, or that there was actual programs to do that, then we're up into the 80 million Americans that are not going to accept this, and we may literally be in a 1775 moment at that point. We're gonna have to choose.
It's all too eerie that with our background and the places that we've traveled to and the ideology that we've been exposed to on the ground in other parts of the world, it's eerie to see what's happening right now. What could potentially be happening? Because there's so much. The cancel culture is just nothing but an extension of Marxist thought. And to see it rampant from AOC, from just all over the spectrum, it's disappointing. And to see that there may have been, we haven't seen all the evidence yet. I've seen some evidence. I've seen some tentacles, to the Kraken. But I think there's smoke. I do, and I think there is a fire. I don't know how big the fire is, and I'm anxious to see what is there, because you can't tell me that a guy that's stuck in his mom's basement for the better part of the last 9 months wouldn't go out and do a public event, somehow garnered the most votes in the history of our republic in a presidential election. I just can't even fathom that. I'm sorry. That just did not happen.
Yeah, and they they're making an outrageous claim. I mean, when I say outrageous, I don't mean that it's a lie. Outrageous can be an outrageous truth as much as an outrageous untruth. But the outrageousness of saying that they believe they have the numbers to prove that Trump didn't just win, but he won in a landslide, both electorally and in the popular vote, and that there was that much cancellation going on in the process. And they obviously presented some anecdotal evidence. They waved around a few affidavits and talked about the hundreds and possibly thousands that they have and that they're still accumulating. But at the end of the day, and this is where I hit the pause button on myself, is that I'm still not willing to go over into the conspiracy zone.
Yeah.
There are conspiracy theories and there are conspiracy realities, and they're claiming a conspiracy reality. And these are some important people with their own lives, their own careers, their own some of them their own freedom, some of their own safety, because their legal teams have been receiving death threats. And so they're putting a lot on the line to bring this forward and to make these outrageous assertions. So where I do, in fact, for me, hit the pause button and take more of a wait and see attitude is this stuff has got to be so good that the courts are going to look at it and go, okay, we'll hear because they don't have to take the case, No,
they don't. And the fact that, I mean, Sidney Powell was Michael Flynn's lawyer, and she got him off.
Mm-hmm.
My dad always told me that if he has to go to court, he wants a lawyer that's like a junkyard dog. And she's very much like that, and that's high praise. I'm going to be stunned if there isn't something significant here. I just, I hate that, hey, they're having these press conferences and they're not revealing enough, and it's frustrating. Anyway, keep talking about, you want to keep talking? You want to read comments? What do you want to do?
No, I just want to go back to the 1775 comment that Powell made, and when she said that this was, our generation's 1775 moment. That was a frightening thing for me, and that's why I said my arm hair stood up when she said that, because to be perfectly honest, there's going to be 70 million pissed off people whichever direction this goes, and we already know the way one side behaves when they get pissed off.
Yeah, just look at that the Billion MAGA March.
Right.
All of that footage of people just getting pummeled.
Yeah, no, we know how they behave, and they don't wait for evidence. They don't wait for the circumstances to be known. They don't wait for unedited videos to be shown so that you can see what happened in full context. They don't wait. They assume that they've been wronged, and we know what they do when they hit the streets. If this thing is overturned, man, they're not going to care. They're not going to care what the evidence is. They're not going to look at it. They're not going to sit down and examine. I would go so far as to say this, Scott. If the Supreme Court took this and it made it to the court, and it was up to them to rule that this level of fraud happened, if they ruled 9-0 and the liberal justices sided with the conservative side, there's going to be 70-something million people pissed off who are not going to believe it. They're going to believe that it was stolen from them, and we know that a percentage of them are going to take it to the streets. And we know what they do when they hit the streets. It's crash and burn time for them, loot and burn. And on the other hand, if the courts decide not to take this, they feel like there's just not enough there for them to spend their time on it or to put the nation through this process, then we've got the other half of the country that's going to be pissed off. And we know that they're not going to take it to the streets because they respect private property. They respect businesses. They respect the economy. They're going to get up the next morning. They're going to go to work. They're going to go to their jobs. They're going to see. They're going to be angry, and then they're going to come home, and they're not going to go downtown in any major city and riot and smash windows and loot.
You're right.
The Dollar Tree or Saks Fifth Avenue. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But what is going to happen is it's going to unleash an underground movement that will begin building just as it was in 1775, and it just very well may be our moment to look at putting together the revolution. The second one.
Indeed, there's a comment from Mark Drury on your post. It's quite long. It's actually really good. And then he closes it out by saying, "It may be time to pop the corn and settle in for a show."
Yeah,
and that's a great line.
and the thing is I have no intention of popping the corn and settling in for the show. I intend on being on the show. It's just the way I feel like that. I hate to say it this way, but I feel like that my life, my background, even 2020 itself has prepared me for this moment. And I don't want to get any, deeper or, professorial, with regards to that. It's just that as, the decision that we announced here, a week or so that I'm going full time into TPC. I'm not leaving music. I'm not going to walk away from music. But when I wake up every morning, and this is first thing, it's what I've been working on 12 hours a day for the last couple of weeks. And if something happens musically, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just not pursuing it right now because I don't know when. First of all, that our governors are going to allow us to have that industry back again.
Yeah.
So I'm redeeming the time and throwing myself into this. And if that means that I'm going to be in that show, well, so be it.
Depending on what kind of show it is, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what kind of show it's going to be, but I intend on being in the middle of it.
Is that whatever. A turd hitting the fan right now?
Yeah. Right.
All right. Any other thoughts on that post before we jump to the?
No. I think we
got that covered. Yeah. Okay. So then this morning at the crack of dawn, you cranked out a nice one on the Danish study that came up yesterday.
Yeah, the crack of insanity. Actually, it was about 4:00 this morning.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what the Danes have uncovered.
Yeah, I mean, I get. I'm sure it's true of a lot of our followers. My inbox on my email box just alone. I subscribe to so many different news services and aggregators of news services, and so I get these multitude of emails that aggregate tons of headlines. And so as I'm scrolling through one of those, this morning, boom, I saw this Danish study. Now I had already seen it actually when it came out a couple of days ago, and I'd seen other mainstream news papers, news services that had mentioned this Danish study. And I didn't really feel like getting into it because of what we talked about earlier at the beginning of this podcast, was that we're in double secret probation with Facebook right now. I mean, we're on two strikes, and in all my bot talk yesterday with their AI mind, I never got them to remove those two strikes, and so we're on the verge of being, either silenced and for, whether it's a 30-day penalty, Facebook jail penalty, or them kicking us off. But we're on the verge right now. So I just didn't, I didn't want to go out there and, stick a needle in their eye at the moment when I read this study, because, we know how they feel about it. It doesn't matter. You can post something from the WHO if it's counter to, Facebook's fact-checking narrative, they will penalize you. You'll get slapped with a false news thing, and you're quoting the effing WHO or CDC. I can go in and I can screenshot it and get a warning. I go screenshot straight from their website, link to it, and get a warning from them.
Depends on what side of science you are on.
Well, that's exactly right. It depends on which science you decide to believe.
Yeah.
The bureaucratic science or the real science is what it boils down to. And so I, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I just didn't care. And I said, screw it. So I fired off a semi-humorous screed. If you haven't seen it yet, please go read it. But the bottom line is that it's been the largest study thus far dealing specifically with the COVID-19 virus itself. Not, it's not on dealing with other flu viruses or other types of bacterial viruses, and in terms of mask efficacy. So this one is the first one of its kind. It's the largest of its kind, and essentially what they came to the conclusion of was this. It's very, very simple. If you're wearing the mask to protect yourself, you're wasting your time. It's offering you no protection. On the other hand, if you're spewing snot and globules because you got a cold, the COVID, the flu, or whatever, if you're hacking, shit up, then wear the mask for everybody else's benefit. Now, what this study did not get into, but then, this dovetails into other studies that they said, well, we should all wear the mask for everybody else's benefit anyway. But there are just an unbelievable amount of contradictory evidence out there saying that, look, if you're asymptomatic and you're carrying the virus, you're not spreading it. They can't even prove that children in school, and they are running these numbers like crazy. Epidemiologists the world over are running these numbers now that school's back open, and they can't get elementary children that have the disease to spread the disease. They're not taking it home.
Yeah, didn't the CDC just say that the safest place kids can be right now is in school?
Yeah. Well, the WHO reiterated again and said we can't do we do not accept lockdown policies anymore. We're doing more. They have said we're doing more damage medically and otherwise to society through lockdowns than we are gaining advantage by running scared and hiding from this virus. This virus is going to spread. There's nothing you can do about it. And the bottom line is that we have been at somewhere between 85 and 90% compliant, to the mask of servitude in these hot spots that are welling up all over the country again right now. And wearing the mask is not stopping it. They're still having surges right now. And, it just boggles the mind that common sense can't prevail. You don't need a medical degree or a master's in higher math or it's not necessary. Common sense tells us that after months of being compliant to this mask thing, we're now seeing the surge. We're seeing the seasonal surge. It's not kicking it back. So, of course, what government is going to do is they're going to take it to the other extreme. And now they're saying that we can't have our holidays. We can't have our extended family over. We can't meet with anybody but our, current, if you don't live together already, you can't have, Thanksgiving together. And then, some moron in Pennsylvania saying that ordering that you have to wear masks even when you're in your own home over the holidays, which is crazy.
How asinine is that? I saw a post yesterday on the New York Post, an article about a church here in my town, Victory Church, Billy Joe Doherty. I used to go there as a kid, and they've announced the church is a 13,000 member church. They're having a Friendsgiving, and they're asking all of their parishioners to invite a friend to come and have Thanksgiving, either in their parking lot or whatever, or in their church. I don't know what they're doing, but
you don't know if they're doing it inside or out.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're welcome, and so it's against all restrictions. It's against all this stuff, and like, well, the spirit of Thanksgiving is people coming together and being grateful and thankful, and they're just trying to reach out and give people food and celebrate the fact that we can freely assemble and somewhat.
and you know what? If you're an at-risk person and you're vulnerable because of your own circumstances and your own health conditions, or you have someone back home in your immediate family who is vulnerable, don't go. Just don't go.
That's your choice to go or not to go. It's your choice.
Right. Don't endanger yourself or other people if you think you're in that category. But if you've looked at the science and you've looked at the actual data, and you're someone like myself, even at my age, I'm in the 99.95 percentile of survival rate at my age. And I'm ancient, and so I don't care. I don't care. I'm going out. I'm going on the road for a month. I'm going to travel and come out and see anybody that wants to come out and talk to me. That's what we're going to do. So it's mask or no mask. That's up to you. Do what you need to do. If we get some venues along the way that require me to, wear that mask for 15 feet until I get to the table, I'll comply to that, and then we'll have our meetings. But that's the total extent of my compliance when it comes to mask wearing.
Oh, sheesh! Don't get me started. I'm wearing my mask.
Oh, yeah. We need to pull out those shirts. Oh, yeah, everybody, go get one of our shirts. What does it say exactly? I've already forgotten. Don't.
Sorry.
You can't.
Sorry, but it's a felony.
Right.
To wear a mask and to carry a gun.
Right. It's basically the sentiment is sorry, I'm sorry I'm not wearing a mask, but it's a felony.
Because
I'm carrying. And that's not true in every state. And in some states where that was true, they've rescinded that or, temporarily due to the coronavirus mask mandates. But that's really not the issue of the T-shirt. The issue of the shirt is that it does make people turn their heads, and it's edgy. Let's just say that.
I've enjoyed it. My wife doesn't like to ruffle. She likes cool, smooth waters. Steve, she's just calm, and me, I like the jolt. And so, I'll wear it out. And she's like, "You cannot wear that out in public."
We have a mutual friend that in Nashville that when I showed up to his house here a few weeks ago, wearing that shirt, he looked at me and he went, "Ooh, that's spicy." And he's the kind of guy that won't wear it in public, but his wife, she was like, "Oh, I got to have one of those." And so,
really?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. So I went out to the car and got her one and brought it back in, and so yeah, she proudly wears it.
That's great.
Wears it everywhere. But that's the point of the shirt, is to wear it everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. What else? Anything else that we want to add to this?
No, just to kind of wrap this up personally, tonight I'm playing my last show of the year. In fact, I'm wearing my captain hat right now because I'm doing my yacht rock band tonight, which is called Captain and the Keels, and I am the captain.
Love
And
that.
so we'll be doing, all the smooth rock favorites from 1975 to 1985. So you're going to be hearing a lot of Steely Dan, Toto, Christopher Cross,
Nice.
stuff like that. And so
Nice.
yeah, it'll be fun. We're going to be playing at a distillery in Weldon, North Carolina. I probably shouldn't have outed them either, but I think their sheriff is cool, so they're not having any problems there. They're
Oh,
they're not listening to the governor right
edit
now.
that out if you need me to.
Well, no, you don't. You probably won't have this posted before
Maybe not. Who knows?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be up. But anyway, I'm not worried about it. But we're gonna enjoy. It's. We had a rehearsal with the band Wednesday night, and it was just weird, man.
Mm.
To be honest with you, knowing that I was rehearsing for my last gig of the year, which of course, here we are going into the holiday season, particularly into December. That's hurt for me for the last 20 years. That's my biggest money making month of the year, and it's gone. I mean, it doesn't even exist. There's not even. I don't even have any secret, private opportunities during that time.
You're not
We've done a
essential, Steve. You're not essential.
yeah. Well, that's exactly right. I am a non-essential worker, and so they've proven it to me by taking my opportunities, my career away from me. So here we are doing this instead.
Here we go. There's a comment from one of the followers, Kevin Wall, on this recent post that you had. He says, "I'm down to the 3 B's: Bible, bullets, and bourbon."
you know and for me and you, coming from where we come from, we used to not be able to admit the bourbon part.
No, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. You'd have to hide it in a coffee cup or
Well,
mix it with something.
hello.
Hello, bourbon, my old friend.
We'll see. We do these shows on occasion that are they're in big big rock clubs and stuff. So they have all these warning signs, and they send these things out to you in advance that you cannot bring your own liquor into there because they have the various liquor laws and
Sure. Yeah.
So the bands can't bring their own stuff in. Well, I always bring my own favorite bottle in with me, wrapped in a towel in my travel bag, and it's always there. And the reason why I carry it with me is because when I'm on stage, and especially when I'm doing the David Bowie tribute act, that real sharp, rye whiskey bite actually helps me go that direction vocally.
Oh yeah,
It's just
it does something to your vocal cords. It does.
It absolutely works. It's actually called they call it the histamines, not the antihistamines, but the histamines in the bourbon do that, and I get a extra kick of that from the rye for some reason. So I always carry my own with me because not everybody has good stuff, particularly in these big rock barns. But when I do that, almost always in the green room they have tea for the singers, and so they have hot tea, and so I'll get a nice tea bag dangling from my cup. You know what I mean? So it looks like I've got a hot tea on stage with me, and there's a tea bag. So it's a 100 proof rye whiskey is what it is, and with the tea bag hanging out as my diversionary tactic.
What's the whiskey of choice there?
I like taking High West.
High West, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, the double rye, High West double rye. Yeah, that's my favorite stage brew.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff. Well, good thoughts, man. It's good today. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you. And we do want to thank everybody else for hanging in with us as we're learning how to do this. And as we mentioned earlier, when we were hearing landscaping machines, that we don't have the nice studio with the isolated sound and soundproof walls and buffering yet. And we are working towards that. Well, we got good gear. We just don't have the room to put it in yet, but we are working towards that. We're working towards many other things. Everybody has seen the expansion that we've made into, and I'm still learning. Wait on me. It's okay. I'm slow when it comes to, even social media technology, but we are, in addition to Facebook and Twitter and MeWe and Parler, YouTube. We are about to pull the trigger on our crowdfunding platform. We have already made.
Heard back yet?
What's that? No, I haven't heard back yet, but we have submitted the application, and we're just waiting for approval on that. And we'll let you know where that's going to be. It's not Patreon, but it's a Patreon-like place, but it's a Patreon-like place friendly to our type of, thought patterns and speech. Free speech being the key word. But that is soon to be revealed, and I will be on the road here in a week from today and headed out to see a whole bunch of people out there. I can't wait to see and meet so many of the names and faces that see the faces and that have been a part of my life, for many of you, for years, particularly on Facebook. So it's exciting.
Sounds good. And when you're coming up from Dallas, you got to go to Tulsa first and come stay with me so that we could go down to Oklahoma City to see my people down there as well. Because I can't have you going there without me, because I'll get all sorts of shade thrown at me. Right. And with this Kansas City offer, I might just drive my own car up there and come with you there, because
I think it's good.
Yeah,
I know a couple of great cigar bars in KC, and a couple of really nice ones, and I plan on availing myself of both while I'm there.
Sounds lovely, man. Sounds lovely. Yeah. Well, hey, again, thank you for all the support, financial and positive comments everywhere. We're really grateful. Thank you for supporting our thoughts on liberty. And we appreciate everything. Looking forward to the road trip coming up. And yeah.
All the links are below.
Yep. Appreciate everything, guys. All right. Take care.
You can buy me a tank of gas if you're out there. Support us any way you can. All right.
Take care.